Hey everybody, Tim and Julie here for another Batman series. We finished Batman the Animated Series, Chapter 1. We finished the new Batman Adventures, Chapter 2. And here we are starting Batman Beyond, Chapter 3. The end of the 90s. I mean, technically speaking, this crossed over into the 2000s. But it did start in 1999. So it is a 90s show. So Batman Beyond. So just like the other series, we're going to do in groups of four episodes at a time. So we're going to do season 1, episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4, Rebirth 1 and 2, Blackout, and Golem. So it is technically 4 episodes. So I remember when this debuted because I was at my grandparents' house, which was actually in Corbett. I don't know if you know where that is. It's kind of by Multnomah Falls. Mm-hmm. I was at my grandparents' house when it came out with my brother, and my brother was like, "This is stupid," and I was like, "This is amazing," because, like I said, 1999. So I was like 11. I'm young or old, depending on how you look at it. So I was like 11 when this show came out, and I was like, "This is mind blowing." Because, I mean, they had like techno music and stuff like that. And it's hip. So fast forward to 2011, 2012, somewhere in there, Jordan, my husband, and I, we went to the Seattle Comic Con, Emerald City Comic Con, where Bruce Timm, I mean, they actually had like the full cast. They had like Bruce Timm was there, who was like the animator. Kevin Conroy, who is the voice of Batman, Tara Strong, who was the voice of the New Adventures of Batman. She was the voice of Batgirl, etc. Like, they had a lot of voice actors there. And they had asked Bruce Timm about Batman Beyond. And he had said, like, you know, honestly, like I said, it was 1999. He was like, we were just coming out of like the era of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And WB was like, hey, we need something to keep up with the teenagers. What can you give us? And so at first, he was 100% against it. He was like, I mean, this is what we got. And so he like, here's what it is. And he came out with Batman Beyond. And I think I honestly, because me being who I am, like, I had my stupid little cell phone and I was like recording all of this. I might still have the film recording. And Bruce Timm was like, we did what we could. And honestly, Batman Beyond blew up. Like, it was so much better. It was literally just us being like, what do we get if we combine Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Batman the Animated Series and we combine them together? It was Batman Beyond. And so that's what Batman Beyond is Bruce Wayne, who is like 90-ish years old. He's elderly. He can't do it anymore. And Terry McGinnis takes over the mantle of who Batman is. And nobody expected it to be good. Nobody at all. Everybody was like, this is just going to be a cash out, let's sell toys type TV show. And it blew up. So not only do we have Batman Beyond, who went for 3 seasons and a movie, it's carried on for a while. Like, I don't know if you know, but we're going to be doing Batman Beyond for a while. It's going to be going on, but kind of like Harley Quinn and Mercy and other characters that Paul Dini and Bruce Timm came up with, Terry McGinnis and Batman Beyond carried on into the comic books. Like, there's a whole Batman Beyond comic book series where it's like, what if Batman was in the future? So this is groundbreaking. Like, I don't know. I'm super excited because I know the entire series because it's gone on for 3 seasons. But it is groundbreaking. So for you, just these first 4 episodes, what'd you think?
I liked it.
That was a long intro. I apologize.
Yeah, what did you call him? Who was it? Taking over for Batman? Who was the kid guy?
Oh, Terry McGinnis.
Terry McGinnis.
Mm-hmm.
He's a klutz. He's got a lot to
yes.
learn. Yeah, he's no Batman yet.
Mm-hmm.
He is, but he's not Batman. He's got a lot to learn.
He does. He really does.
He's got a lot to learn.
And I feel like that's part of the charm.
Yeah.
Where you're just like you're rooting for him. You're like, oh, you are struggling, but he's got the potential.
He's got some things down real good, but then there's some that he needs.
He's got that oomph.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word, the oomph. But I mean, for those who don't know, like if you watch Batman the animated series and the New Adventures of Batman, Kevin Conroy was the voice of Batman. Mm-hmm. That goes back to 1992.
Right.
That's literally older than Jordan, my husband. Mm-hmm. And he's still voicing Batman in some of the movies, the animated movies and stuff, and even the live action. And so in this series, he still plays Bruce Wayne, the elderly Bruce Wayne. And so the fact that Kevin Conroy is still in it, I feel like really kind of carries the series.
Right.
The fact that Bruce Wayne is still there.
Yes.
But like you said, Terry, he's young and dumb.
Yes.
But I feel like that's the endearing quality where you're like, oh, what are you doing? Like you're stupid.
You gotta start somewhere. Yeah.
But so when we started the animated series in 1990, and realistically, almost any Batman we've done, with the exception of the year 1 Batman, he's always been Batman. Like right off the get-go, right out of the gate. Whereas for this is almost the first time we've seen a TV show where he's learning to be Batman.
Right.
Like he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
No.
He's just like, let's see where this goes. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, that's the first couple episodes. He steals the suit from Bruce Wayne,
right?
And he's like, "Hey, this is awesome!" And Bruce Wayne's like, "I'm gonna freeze the suit," and that's where he like pushes the button, and now Terry can't move. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're watching Terry evolve.
Well, yeah, because in the opening scene he was he wrestling with the kid, the mean kid, and he had the moves. Mm-hmm. So yeah, mm-hmm. He's got something going for him, to put to use. But yeah,
yep,
he'll be good.
So I mean, like we're just starting. So I know where it goes, but I'm not going to spoil anything. So to talk about Rebirth. It's the first couple of episodes. So we see it's like 20 years after Bruce Wayne retires.
Right.
So we see the Jokers with a Z. I mean, that's how far in the future we are, where the Joker, it's a thing of the past. The Joker has actually become a gang.
Right.
Rather than a person.
Right, but they still wear the leader still wears the Joker mask.
Right. So one of the things I absolutely love, because I come from a split home, and I mean divorce is like 50% of today's society. And the fact that Terry comes from a split home where his parents are divorced, I was like, I love this automatically. Because if you look at the original like Batman and stuff like that, they were very PC. They were very kid friendly. Mm-hmm. And automatically the fact that Terry comes from a divorced family, I feel like this is already establishing more updating for the family. Right. It's already kind of appealing to kids.
Right.
So, I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, just catching up with the time.
Yeah, because especially like 1999, like a lot of kids come from divorced families. Yeah. And so I feel like this is a good show for them to be like, oh, look at that. Like, I have a divorced family, so does Batman. So I absolutely loved that. I thought that was a fantastic like introduction.
Yes.
I already talked about old Bruce. Now, in the first episode, we'll talk about it a little bit later. In the first episode, he does mention Commissioner Barbara Gordon,
Yes.
which we hadn't seen yet, but automatically I was like, okay, Barbara's growing up in the world. That's kind of nice. I love that. Mr. Fix is voiced by the amazing George Takei, who played Sulu in the original Star Trek.
Okay. Yeah.
But as soon as he spoke, I was like, oh, like I don't know. I just love George Takei. Oh my! Like I just it was great. I love George Takei. So stuff like that. We see Powers, who Bruce has like split his company with. He's going to be a big character. I've seen the series over and over and over again, so I'm so excited for you to see it. But Powers is a big character throughout the series. But to see him, like, the Wayne Powers company, the fact that Wayne actually sold his company a little bit into the Powers family, I was like, oh my God, like, what's going to happen with this? So stuff like that's great. One of the final scenes where Mr. Fix, the George Takei character, where he's like some punk who thinks he's Batman. That's the best George Takei voicing. Oh my. And where Terry's like, I am Batman. Honestly, that's where I bought him. I was like, okay, yep, this is a Batman show. Yes. So I loved it. And then we see that Powers does have powers. It's a terrible name, but we'll see the character develop over time. But still, I mean, it was really, for when we first started the Batman animated series, which technically speaking was a branch of the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton movie, but even then, he was already Batman. Like, this is our everything we've seen. It's Batman's already Batman. Like, this is the first one where we're seeing Terry become Batman for the first time.
Right.
So,
But he's got a good teacher.
Bruce Wayne is a great teacher. When this came out, I was like, this would be great as a live action movie. And since then, we've never really seen it, but I think it would be. So branching out from there, we get to episodes 3 and 4. Episode 3 is Blackout, where it's introducing the character of Ink. I don't know, she's almost like a combination of Clayface and Catwoman.
Yeah, I get that, yeah.
Where she can transform, but you already know she's going to have a love interest. At least I thought so. Just from this episode, I was like, the way they interact, because the way Catwoman is like, oh, I'm evil, but I love you.
Yeah.
That's how I felt like with Ink.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think of Ink? I've talked a lot, so go ahead.
Well, when Bruce went to Powers' office to talk, I don't remember what they were.
I just said that. I'm gonna interrupt. One of my favorite lines is like where Bruce shows up at Powers' office and Powers is like, how have you been holding up? And he's like, with a cane. Like, Bruce has all of the best lines in this series. So go ahead.
So when Powers had all those like statues around the room, and he told Bruce, don't touch it.
Oh, right.
Well, after Bruce left, it turned into ink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I loved Ink. I thought Ink is, like I said, she's kind of
different. Yeah.
It's the powers of Clayface, but like the personality of Catwoman.
Yes.
So I loved it. I thought it was great.
Cute. But yeah, I'm liking them.
The third episode. So this is the first episode we see the Batmobile, where it's like the hover. I don't know. It's the Batman Beyond mobile.
Yeah, in the future.
However
yeah.
you. But I love that when Ink infiltrates the Batcave, Batman wears the outfit of the Grey Ghost, which goes all the way back to like season 1 of the Batman the Animated Series, where Adam West plays the Grey Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved that, where he wears the goggles and the hat because he doesn't want Ink to recognize who he is.
Yeah, because they didn't know that she got into the back car.
Where he's like, the Batmobile's too heavy.
Well, yeah, and the Batman, he goes, yeah, it's driving rough or something like that. And then Bruce Wayne says, yeah, it's a little heavy, and then out she comes.
And episode 3 is also the first episode where we see Barbara Gordon as Commissioner Gordon. Julie already knows. I'm like, I know who she is. So in the Batman the Animated Series, who was she voiced by?
Melissa Gilbert.
Melissa Gilbert. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. She was voiced by Melissa Gilbert. And then when they did the new Batman Adventures, she was voiced by Tara Strong, which I've met. She is a lovely woman. She's so nice. But like she's a voice actress, so she took over the voice of Barbara Gordon. For Batman Beyond, we have already met Bruce Wayne, and now we have met Barbara Gordon, Commissioner Barbara Gordon. She is voiced. You're not gonna know who it is. It's okay. No. Stalker Channing.
I know who she is.
Who's Stalker Channing?
She was in. I know what she was in, but I can't think of it. Yeah, I know who she is.
She is most famous for being the voice, or being the actress of Rizzo in Grease.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
And that was going to be my clue. I was like, how do I give a clue of who Stalker Channing is? I was going to be like, look at me, I'm Sandra Dee. And like it's Rizzo. Yes. So next time we watch like the next group of episodes, it's Rizzo that is the voice of Barbara Gordon. Okay. It's amazing. I'm so happy, and she does such a good job.
I was thinking, because you were giving me that clue, and I'm thinking, okay, she sings. She sounds like I know I know that voice.
Yeah.
But that's not who I was thinking it was. It was,
Well, and then she's also famous for being like the West Wing, because she was the first lady, but...
Oh, what was her name? Well, when 2011, when we had the big catastrophe, and she sang the American anthem. I can't think of what her name is. I see her. Oh, I'll have to think about it.
Oh, you think about it. We'll do it. I mean, we do this again.
Next time, I will remember. But that's who I was thinking of, because to me, it sounded like her.
Okay.
But
I don't know. It's okay. But yeah, so Stalker Channing is the voice of Barbara Gordon for the series. Okay. It's Rizzo. Like, even knowing is Rizzo, I can't process that is Rizzo. For the final episode, this is a long video. Fuck. Golem. Oh, the poor boy. It's a poor nerdy boy who ends up being able to control robots. I mean, for me, like, I feel like I would be the poor nerdy boy that nobody like pays attention to. Everybody ignores him, and he's like, "Fuck you," and I can control robots now. Mm-hmm. So we get that. It's Willie Watt is the character. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's sad because it's the nerdy boy, and he ends up going to jail and can still control robots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
And that's it. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I'm the one who's been drinking. You're
you're
sober.
I'm
you're
sober,
like,
but I act like you.
Yep. Okay. Anything else for... This is Batman Beyond. Like I said, I absolutely love Batman Beyond. This is just the first part. It only gets deeper from here.
Okay.
What do you think about Batman for the future?
I don't like the character, the way they got him designed.
Okay.
It looks weird, but
Because
he looked like he was when I first saw him. He looked evil.
Okay. With the black suit and the red. Okay.
Yeah, to me he looked evil.
Okay.
Some of his expressions.
Okay. Like I said, we're only in the first 4. That's a drunk talk right there. We're only in the first 4 episodes. So, I mean, yeah, if you think he looks evil, that's interesting. Like, document that, because I'm curious to see, like, later on what you think he looks like. Okay. So,
with the new Batman, he looks cute. He looks cute. He looks like you.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
Okay. So, anything else for the first?
Are you ready to watch 4 more?
I'm so ready for 4. I can't even talk. I'm ready for 4 more. I don't know if I'm going to be coherent for 4 more, but I'm ready. Okay. My question is, because I want to document this, every time we do a video, I'm sure, nobody really watches these, but these are more for me than anything, that people think we're faking it. So this is Batman of the future. Mm-hmm. Off the top of my head, off the top of my drunk little head, which that's what I love, is that, like, this is the drunk and this is the sober. If you had to pick, this is Batman, 50 years in the future. If you had to pick villains that you would want to see in the future, I can think of 4 villains that we 100% see, voice actor and all, in the future for Batman Beyond, that we saw in the animated series, voice actor and everything, that we will see again. 4 of them. Who do you think, or who do you want to think we will see in Batman Beyond? Does that make sense? I don't even know if that made sense.
I know we'll probably see the Joker.
This is why you don't let your grandkids watch my show. It's because I'm like, fuck, who do we see? I'm sorry, Cameron.
Joker. Penguin. Probably Bane. I want to say the Riddler. That's 4.
That is 4. Yeah. Do you want me to say how many are correct and how many are incorrect, or you just want to be a surprise?
You can tell me. You won't upset me.
I think 2 you got right.
Oh, okay.
But the reason I ask this right now is because I think the next episode we'll see 1. Okay. But 1, 2, 3. Off the top of my head, I can think of 3 that we 100% we will see again. Because at this point, they wanted to continue the animated series, so they were like, let's bring as many characters as we can and make it. And they do a good job of, like, trying to do those old characters as new characters, because we've already watched, like, The Dark Knight Returns, the Frank Miller version of an old Batman. Where, in that version, we saw an old Batman, we saw an old Joker, we saw an old Catwoman, and kind of continuing, like, how do we continue that franchise? And so this is a different variation. And as we already talked about with Ink, has the powers of Clayface, but kind of the personality of Catwoman. So I'm not gonna confirm or deny, but we 100% do see at least 4 original series Batman villains in this show. So,
Okay.
any closing thoughts for the introduction?
No, it was good.
It was good.
It.
Okay. So for those who have seen Batman Beyond, a long fucking video, but it's fun. I'm so excited. For those who have seen it, what'd you think? Go ahead and let us know. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. We'll see you guys next time for part 2.